Yo, what is up, everybody? It's B Militant. Welcome back to the channel. I'm your host here on the Redskins review. And you guys, we just got done watching the third preseason game at home, Redskins versus Broncos. And there's only really two things that are stopping me from, kind of freaking out over how unprepared we looked in this game. And that is just one, because it's preseason. It doesn't matter. We've seen the Redskins do very well in the preseason, and it doesn't matter. It doesn't translate over to the regular season. So, yeah, it sucks seeing us unprepared and not looking good like this, but who knows? It might be the complete opposite in the regular season. And number two, I watched the Browns versus Eagles game last night, and so yeah, that was a train wreck, and I think I saw a worse train wreck last night, so it's making this a little bit more bearable. If I didn't see that game last night, I would probably be pretty upset about this game that we just watched. The two big takeaways I got from this game: Alex Smith looked really shaky. Alex Smith looked like he didn't gain composure at all until like his last third drive or whatever. He had a good throw and catch, and like moved the ball a little bit on that drive. And number two, Adrian Peterson looks really good. I think we all agree, we all like what we saw out of Adrian Peterson. Sure, it's only one, small sample size, but I mean, he just looks fresh. He looks like, he just looks shifty. When he's got great lateral movement and stuff like that. Like, he's just fast. Like, he's also always moving his legs. He doesn't stop moving his legs even when he's like being tackled and stuff like that. I don't know. He looks great. He looks like he can bounce the ball to the outside pretty well. But yeah, I'm really happy about Adrian Peterson. I'm really happy we're still seeing Tim Settle, step up. But man, we got straight destroyed by Case Keenum and Emmanuel Sanders. And honestly, man, like everyone knows that they have a good defense over there in Denver, but that offense was pathetic last year. Pathetic. And Case Keenum's a good quarterback, from what we've seen, in short sample size of him playing last year. He played well last year, so and he played well in this game. And I just did not think that their offense was going to be anything worthwhile. Of course, we're not going to be as bad as last year, but I mean, man, they just had a field day with us. And our defense, there's some good plays with, there's some people that stand out. There's some plays that stand out. I'm really liking what I see from Daron Payne. Daron Payne's getting his hands up just like when we drafted him. I really liked what I saw. Obviously I watched too before we drafted him, but in all his highlights, man, he gets his hands up. If he's not going to get to the quarterback, he's smart enough to get his hands up, and that's something we did this entire game. So I'm trying to get some positives out of this, man. But yet again, our entire team just looked like they were not prepared. They looked like they rolled out of bed and walked over to the stadium and just showed up. That's what it looked like. It looked like the Broncos were twice as prepared. And another thing that I have written down in my notes is one thing that Gruden always has an issue with, and also the last quarterback that we had here, the one thing that I always knocked him on is that every single year at the beginning of the season, the regular season, our team starts off slow. And that's a combination between Gruden and our quarterback. And it's just like, we just saw what was supposed to be like the dress rehearsal, and our team did not look prepared. Alex Smith looked like he didn't know what the hell he was doing. I mean, dude, that was bad, dude. That was pretty bad. Do you remember the play where Alex Smith doesn't know what the hell to do with the football? So he's like, oh, I'm going to take off and run. And he just runs into a defensive lineman. And he's like, oh, well, let me just try to throw this ball over the middle of the field where at the time there's nobody there. It's like, dude, what are you thinking, dude? What are you thinking, bro? Like, oh, man. I did not see shit that I liked out of Alex Smith this game. No, dude. That was not cool. I don't know, dude. But Adrian Peterson, man, we got. You guys know how I still I still feel the same way about Rob Kelley. I'm not going to sit here and try to tell you guys Rob Kelley's better than Adrian Peterson. We just saw Adrian Peterson. He's got the it factor, man, and he still looks like he's got something in the tank to me. Sure, who knows, man? We saw one game, but he looks good to me. He looks like he's in shape. He looks like, he did all that with being 3 days practicing. You know what I'm saying? So as long as he can stay healthy, I think, obviously it's a lock, in my opinion. I'm pretty sure everyone here is going to be like, yeah, that's our starting running back right there. We had some, I don't know, man. We had some people step up on defense, but our defense was just getting annihilated the whole game. And I'm just, the entire game, I'm sitting here waiting, like, when is someone going to step up and make a play? Like, on defense, when are we going to see DJ Swearinger step up and make a play? Like, how many times did it would be 3rd down and 14. Remember the 3rd down and 14 play where Case Keenum's just like, oh, I'm going to throw the ball over the middle to whoever it was, tight end or whatever. And, like, DJ Swearinger and someone else just standing right there, like, expecting the other dude to handle it. And it's just like, that's not shit. That's not what I'm equating, the talent of DJ Swearinger to do, to stand there and be like, oh, well, I thought you had the dude, and they're both just look at each other like, oh, well, I guess we gotta go tackle him now. Like what is this, dude? Like, that's not what I expect from people like DJ Swearinger. I expected to see him show up. If anyone's gonna show up on the defense, that's the man I would expect to have his name called. He didn't even have his name called. Josh Norman's over here getting picked on, like, they're just gonna go right back to him. Like, I feel like Josh Norman at the times, he's just like, oh, no one even tests me, so, like, he just gets complacent, you know what I mean? He's like, no one's going to, he's just so used to people not throwing the ball over there that, like, he does just get complacent, and then they're like, all right, well, now we're going to do it, and then he's just not ready for it. But I'm trying to think, man, I like what I see out of Daron Payne. Obviously, Tim Settle's still showing up. If Tim Settle doesn't make this football team, I mean, good Lord, dude. Good Lord. Also, Sean Dion Hamilton looked pretty decent. Martrell Spate, I know they kept saying it over and over during the game, and, I mean, it's true. Martrell Spate, sure, he might not be a starter on this football team, but he's making a case. Even, like the past couple years, like, he's a lock for the team, dude. Like, I don't know, he shows up. And that's what I'm trying to say, dude, is like like I said in, like, one of my last videos, we don't have the roster to be coming out here and just stomping people and going to the Super Bowl. So what we need to do is we need to find the people who are stepping up in games. These games matter. Like, I know, like, it doesn't matter because we don't care about the score and the outcome, but we need to find the people like the Fish Smithsons of the world who, by the way, I have it in my notes, in the 4th quarter, who's tackling? Who's the only person on our defense that can tackle in the 4th quarter? Fish Smithson. He's got his name called, like, 3 plays in a row or something. Like, he's the only one who can tackle. Our entire team looked like they couldn't tackle. There's the one play where their running back runs for a touchdown, and DJ Swearinger and Montae Nicholson both dive at this dude and, like, can't tackle him. Like, what is this, dude? They just look unprepared, and this cannot trickle down into the regular season. If our first game of the season looks like any of what we saw tonight translates over to the first game of the season, I don't know if Jay Gruden's coming back, dude. Like, you cannot keep dropping the ball like this. Like, as much as I like Gruden, you cannot just have this. You can't start the season slow every single time and expect just to be like, oh, we'll make up for it later in the season. It just can't happen, dude. Like, you have to be prepared, and we just did not look like we were prepared. So yeah. Alex Smith was 3 for 8 with 33 yards. We had -3 yards passing in the first quarter. Like, I'm just going to skip what I'm going to say because I know y'all don't. There's a lot of people that don't want to hear what I was going to say about, a quarterback Yeah, I'll just leave it at that. But Capri Bibbs had a pretty good game. There's another guy that stands out. I like Capri Bibbs. I always have since last year. Capri Bibbs has been stepping up. I mean, come on, dude. How is Kevin Hogan? How is the first two preseason games? Kevin Hogan looked ass. Now Kevin Hogan's the best quarterback. Or he showed today. He's the best. He has a rating of 147. I mean, what are you? That's how this game went. Like that's not how you want your third preseason game to go, dude. So I guess I got a lot of stuff down in my notes. I guess before that's my first thoughts. So Adrian Peterson looks great on his first run. Next play, I'm like, what the F is Alex Smith doing? It's the play I was talking about earlier. The Broncos player hits the football on the punt. Oh yeah, where the Broncos player hits the football, and we had two guys there, Danny Johnson or whatever, and someone else that was on special teams. And like, if they were just paying a little bit more attention, like I understand, like that's something that doesn't happen that often. But like, if you're trying to make a football team, if you would have dove on that, if you would have been more prepared and you would have dove on that football, like that's how you're making rosters, man. Good tackle and effort by Payne, but they are still running the ball well versus us. And that's another thing is like we still can't stop the run, dude. Like we just have not been stopping the run. Even in this game, like I don't like what I see. They still, every team we've played, they've found ways to run the football, man, and it's not putting me at ease. Preston Smith is looking like Preston Smith, and I just wrote that down because I forget what happened. But he just is lackadaisical. Whatever he fell on the ground or something and just didn't. I don't remember, but I'm sure he looked pretty terrible on the play, so I had to write that down. Next play, Case Keenum has all day to throw and gets a first down. Like we just weren't getting any pressure. Quinton Dunbar gets put on ice skates by Emmanuel Sanders. I mean, do you remember the video I just made where I'm like, what Redskin are we gonna miss the most? And my answer was Brashad Breeland. Yeah, did you see Quinton Dunbar out there, bro? Yeah, we'll see. Fabian Monroe steps up and makes a good play when we needed one, and it was on third down, so we held him to a field goal there. Peterson's second run, and he goes nowhere. He's got nowhere to go, basically. Like, our offensive line, like, Adrian Peterson looks good, but still, I'm still going to keep saying it. Like, our offensive line is not that good at run blocking, man. And that's something I said when Rob Kelley was our running back last year, and that's something I'm still going to sit here and tell you. Our offensive line is not that good at run blocking, man. They're just not. But that's why Adrian Peterson looks so good, because he's making something out of nothing, and you got to respect it. We run the same run play to the left side, and Peterson gets 13 yards. We get a free 15 yards on a helmet penalty, the whole helmet shit. Alex Smith has a retarded play where he runs into a defender and throws it. There was multiple plays in the first quarter where I'm just like, what is Alex Smith doing, dude? And that's kind of alarming. To me, Alex Smith is always the guy that is on top of shit, and like he knows what he's doing, and he knows what he's doing before he's going to do it, and he's calculated and he's smart. I saw shit out of Alex Smith today that he just looked like Kevin Hogan looked the past two preseason games. That's what I saw. Vernon Davis runs a shorter. It's a fourth down, and we go for it on fourth down, and Vernon Davis runs a shorter route than he's supposed to get a first down. Deron Payne is getting his hands up. Already talked about that. Now they're just picking on Josh Norman, going back to him over and over. Quinton Dunbar gets a holding call on third down. Redskins give up rushing touchdown. DJ Swearinger and Nicholson cannot even make a tackle, and they're right there to make a tackle. Greg Stroman takes the ball on the kickoff when he shouldn't have taken it. I'll speak on that point later. I already have it written down. Alex Smith isn't looking good. Throwing too high. He's thrown too high to an open Capri Bibbs. then doesn't hit Vernon Davis on the next play. It would have taken a good pass to hit him, but I mean, man, he had a step on the guy. We end the first quarter with -3 passing yards. Ryan Kerrigan is getting off the ball well. That is one thing that I did see. Now, Ryan Kerrigan's name wasn't called, at all really during the game. But I was kind of watching him, and Ryan Kerrigan, he's getting some pressures, man, and he's getting off the ball. I think he looks good, and I think that's something that not a lot of people are going to recognize or be talking about right now. But he looks solid. He looks consistent, like what we expect out of Ryan Kerrigan. So, not a big shocker there. Mason Foster gets his hands up and swats the pass down on third down. This is one thing that I don't know who's teaching our guys to do this now. Deron Payne came into our football team knowing how to do it because I've seen him do it on tape all the time. So I don't know who's actually getting these guys to do this, but we spotted down a bunch of passes this game, and that's what I want to see more of. That's something we never really did a lot, man. Smith finally gets a good pass to Paul Richardson. 3rd and 6, Alex Smith pulls the ball and runs himself when there's nowhere to go, and things just look unprepared. Preston Smith has been getting held with no flags on a couple plays in a row. 3rd and 14, and we let him get it. And I just wrote down after that, where's DJ Swearinger at? Case Keenum is killing us. Huge pass. Fabian Moreau got beat. Case Keenum and Emmanuel Sanders straight murdered our defense. As soon as Rob Kelley is handed the ball, he's met by 3 Broncos in the backfield. Redskins are 0-6 on 3rd downs. Colt McCoy looks shaky too. Josh Harvey-Clemons has a great tackle on a punt. Tim Settle gets his hands up and deflects another ball, which was almost intercepted. Anthony Lanier has a sack. Anthony Lanier, he's a consistent player. He's a consistent player, and we've seen him show up. Sure, it's in preseason, and we've seen him show up sometimes in the regular season too as, a backup. But he's making a case to try to make the team somehow. I mean, that's what I'm saying is we need to find these players who shine in games like this where, yeah, we're going to sit here and say, oh, it doesn't matter, the score doesn't matter, this or that. This is a football game where all these games are games where people are trying to make it, get a job in the NFL. So people who are stepping up and shining, we have to make a note of it, and those people need to get on the football field. 3rd game in a row, and our backup offensive line looks straight garbage. I mean, dude, I just cannot imagine one of our starting offensive linemen to go out. And every single preseason game, our backup offensive linemen have looked so garbage, dude. So garbage. Redskins have 41 yards passing in the entire first half. Tim Settle hustles. I wrote that down. And I wrote that down because of multiple plays where Case Keenum's throwing the football down the field at will on us. You always see Tim Settle come into the screen. He doesn't give up. He doesn't not hustle. He hustles all the time. He gets to the football, whether he's a little too late or not. It doesn't matter. He's hustling to the football. And that's something, it stands out. Not a lot of other people you see are consistently just attacking the football like that for a guy his size. We haven't had any good kickoff returns this entire preseason, if I'm not mistaken. I wrote that down. Martell Spade is showing he wants to be on the football team. We have been playing so far off the receivers all game long. And this is something as well that I noticed. How many times did they just throw the ball to the outside because we have nobody, we are not pressing their receivers at all. And how many times did we see them just either throw a running back out to the outside or something like that, and they just threw the ball to the outside, and then whoever got the ball, they would cut into the inside, and just there's so many yards between the receiver and our first defender. We're playing so far off the ball the entire time, it seems. Sean Deion Hamilton with a great tackle. He blew this one dude up. Colt McCoy is getting beat up and looking all shaky as well. Fish Smithson has a good special teams tackle. Our defense has been getting killed by passes to running backs Troy Apke misses an open field tackle. Troy Apke did not have a good game. Anthony Lanier has another great tackle in the backfield. Two Redskins collide, and they just don't know what to do on the kickoff. They're not. I mean, that play right there just signifies like what our entire team looked like on the kickoff near the end of the game, where I think it was Capri Bibbs and somebody else are back there, like they don't know who's gonna catch the kickoff, like, and they're just running to each other and like almost fumble the ball like in the end zone. It's just like that's what the entire night looked like. Kevin Hogan comes in the game and throws a bomb downfield. Kevin Hogan to Cobbs for an 18-yard touchdown. All around horrible tackling. The Broncos just look like they are twice as prepared, and this better not linger over to our first regular season game, or like I said, Gruden might not be welcome back here. At this point in the fourth quarter, Fish Smithson's the only one who's getting his name called because he's the only one that can tackle. Capri Bibbs has a great run through a wide open hole that he had. So let me go back, see if I missed any stats. So Case Keenum went 12 out of 18, 148 yards, and no touchdowns. I mean, it's just a preseason, man. I'm not going to take any of this to heart. I still like Alex Smith. I still think Alex Smith is a good quarterback. Adrian Peterson looks cool. I like Adrian Peterson and what he did today. I like that Gruden wanted to see what Adrian Peterson had and just kept running the football. I mean, the man had 56 yards in like a quarter. You know what I mean? Like a quarter and some change. I mean, that if our offense just isn't the same offense that we're used to it being, like high octane, just moving the ball down the field. Sure, we have some struggles in the red zone when we get the ball down the field, but at least we used to get the ball down the field. But if we're having struggles, like feed Adrian Peterson, bro. Just give him the football. I mean, that's what I'm taking out of this game right now. And I think I also mentioned this, like, I don't know if this offense is going to be the same offense that we've seen and we've been used to, you know, the past couple years. And that's why I mentioned in one of my, like, this 2 videos ago, like, if this team does anything significant, our defense is going to have to be the strength of the football team. And our defense has looked pretty decent in the first 2 preseason games, but tonight, I mean, I do not, up until this point, I did not hold the Denver Broncos offense into a high regard. Case Keenum's pretty good, but he's not great. Emmanuel Sanders is their best wide receiver, and I mean, if Demaryius Thomas is out there on the football field, he's alive. Demaryius Thomas hasn't done shit in years. If he's out on the football field, he's wasting space. And guess what? He's out there on the football field today, and they're still tearing our ass up. So this was not a good game for our defense. We were too inconsistent in stopping the run, couldn't stop the pass. Playmakers that I would expect to step up and make plays, like DJ Swearinger is the first name out of my mouth for someone who's a playmaker that needs to step up and do something. His name was not called at all. Like, that's just a recipe for disaster, man. You know, when Kevin Hogan is the best looking quarterback on our football team during this game, that's not what we're looking for in the 3rd preseason game. We'll see. I wonder if Adrian Peterson's going to get any carries next week. I don't know. What do you think? Do we give AP carries next week? I mean, if we do no more than 1 series, I'm guessing. No more than 1 series, because we cannot afford to let more injuries happen. We cannot afford to lose more running backs. I can see him going out there for like 1 series, you know, but after that, man. Well, I guess that's another takeaway. That's another takeaway. I completely forgot to mention that. That's another positive takeaway from the game. Didn't see any injuries really. Yeah, we're worried about Colt McCoy. Colt McCoy hurt his hand or something, but Colt McCoy's tough, man. He'll be all right. But I guess, hey, let's end this on a positive note. It looks like to me there weren't any significant injuries. So, in my eyes, and most of everyone will say, for a preseason game, that's a success. Let's spin this positively and say tonight's game somehow was a success because Adrian Peterson didn't get hurt. No one we really know of got hurt. And hopefully we get to the preseason with all of our guys that we got right now. And then we'll figure out what's, that's Jay Gruden's job right now. Figure out what the hell that stink ball was on TV that we just watched. And that's what Alex Smith's job is to figure out what the hell you just did right there. Because that was not entertaining. So, as always, hail to the Redskins. I'm sure there's a lot more stuff that I forgot to mention. But it's only a preseason game, so I'll see you guys on the next one. Hail to the Redskins. Let me know what you guys think. Are you guys worried about what we just saw? Is it just preseason? You don't care? Is Adrian Peterson going to get carries next week? That's kind of like what we care about now, because now we got a little taste of Adrian Peterson. So, yeah, hail to the Redskins. See you guys on the next one. Peace.